A good midday Monday to you. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. Looking at this outlook period, we're looking at a upper level low pressure system that's located in the lower Great Lakes. This is going to be swinging in more and more moisture. We're sort of in a transition day with some mid-level cloudiness kind of working on out of the region. Currently a lot of sunshine for a very nice Monday. That's also promoting temperatures that are going to be reaching close to 80 degrees today for this afternoon. However, more clouds are going to be streaming in, and eventually overnight we're going to start to see some precipitation work into the region and make it into this state of Vermont. It'll start out as rain showers, but we are looking at a day tomorrow that will feature probably some embedded thunderstorm activity. Checking those antecedent conditions, the setup for that, it does look like we're looking at some convective available potential energy around 1,000 joules per kilogram, as well as wind shear in the 35 to 40 knot range. And that could get the job done to organize a few showers and thunderstorms that could be on the strong side. The thunderstorms potentially seeing wind gusts greater than 40 miles per hour, but it does look to be relatively isolated. And of course, it's going to depend on just how much sunshine there is during the day tomorrow. Really not anticipating a lot of sunshine tomorrow, but any breaks in the clouds or intervals of sun across the state of Vermont could promote instability and reach those convective available potential energy metrics that promote sufficient instability to cause stronger thunderstorms. So something we'll be watching, and I will have a future heads up issued late today. In the meantime, this upper level system will push through the region. Eventually a little bit of wraparound moisture will push on out on Wednesday, and also it will bring us some cooler temperatures. Looking at the dew points right now, a pretty good moisture flux coming in with more humidity working in during the day today. Behind this weather system, you can see there's generally a lot drier conditions, and with dew point temperatures ranging basically in the 20s and 30s. Also out west, sort of the remnants of Tropical Storm K still spinning off of well southwest of San Diego on the west coast. It's brought some influx of monsoonal moisture in. This is not going to be a problem for us, but what is interesting is that the wildfires have now spread north, and a lot of that smoke is now going to work its way probably through Canada, and at some point, once we set up an area of higher pressure later in the week, some of that smoke will probably be pushing into our neck of the woods. So we're going to get back into a little bit of smoke from those western wildfires. Let's take a look at the computer modeling world. We have the European model on the left-hand side, the Gfs Ensemble on the right-hand side. This is valid at 18Z or 2 o'clock this afternoon. And what you can see is we're looking at generally a dry Monday, but moisture is going to be spreading into the region as we run the computer modeling. This is the Gfs Ensemble. You can start to see a little bit of an increase in moisture working in the state of Vermont. This is on the European side. Probably not really reaching, but this is valid at about 21Z or 5 o'clock this evening. And that precipitation falls apart, but the main batch begins to roll on in, and this will be valid during the overnight period. Gfs Ensemble is also indicating the same kind of thing. And it does look like this is kind of a healthy shot of moisture here. We could see anywhere from as little as 1/3 of an inch to up around an inch as it looks right now. A lot of us around 3/4 of an inch. And this is during the day tomorrow. So you can see a little slightly heavier amounts of rain here with the illustrated blue. And that's probably linked to where some thunderstorms, embedded thunderstorms, will track through. A lot of this moisture will be moving out in the Tuesday night time frame, and we'll get into a little bit of a dry slot before a little bit of wraparound moisture starts to work back into mainly northern areas, producing more showers on Wednesday, but also cooler temperatures. Now you might note, you see these blue lines here. This is the 0-degree isotherm at 850 hectopascals, about the top of Mount Mansfield, that elevation. And what you can see is this is cold enough actually to see wet snowflakes in some areas south and east of Hudson Bay. And that colder weather on Wednesday is going to be sort of working its way in toward Vermont. And you can see that 5,400 thickness line as well as the 0-degree isotherm starting to get in there. And that's going to promote some pretty chilly weather. But that colder air mass is going to also set us up for some dry weather, some really excellent project weather, as a matter of fact. You're looking at probably Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even into Sunday of this coming weekend to have fair and dry weather, and with some decent solar radiation as it looks right now as well. Moving the model a little bit further along here, you can see this upper level system pulls away. We start to see an area of higher pressure build in. This is valid. I'll show you that again on Thursday. You can see this ridge of higher pressure building in, and then the area of higher pressure lands just about right over us on Saturday morning, and then kind of drifts a little bit to the south. Just beyond the outlook period here, we could see a little bit of unsettled conditions starting to move in from the west, and this is where I think we'll probably have some wildfire smoke in the area as well during the last part of that area of higher pressure before it basically gets kicked off to the south and east, and so we'll be dealing with some of that western wildfire smoke. Looking at the Gfs Ensemble on the grid point of Montpelier, Vermont, you can see the main precipitation event is going to be on Tuesday, and that's 3-hourly QPF, and that looks like the biggest system here. And as we head into this coming weekend, we're going to see relatively dry weather once that main system moves on out, and then we're into a little bit of more of a noise pattern, but probably some sort of influx of unsettled weather once we get beyond this coming weekend into early next week. Looking at the total amount of QPF, looks like this. And the Gfs Ensemble has been pretty hot and heavy on this. Even the deterministic model is showing greater than 1 inch amount. So maybe we can produce a decent amount of rainfall here to catch up on some much needed rainfall. Water tables and rivers and streams are very, very low. We'll cover that here in a second. Looking at some of the moisture metrics, precipitable water, you can see we're greater than 1.5 inches. With tomorrow's influx of moisture peaking, and then a sharp cold front. That area of low pressure will move on by. A cold front will start to push on out of the region, and we'll see kind of an influx of much drier air. In fact, very much dry as we're heading into the late part of the week and into the early part of this coming weekend. That'll be followed by another increase in moisture, and so on and so forth. That's convective available potential energy or instability, and we do have the potential for some thunderstorms during the day tomorrow. And looking at shear overlaid across that peak, we're going to be somewhere around 35 to 40 knots for shear, and that may be sufficient to organize some of the thunderstorms to make them strong. Worst case scenario, some locally severe, so something we'll be watching during the afternoon. A lot of that's going to depend on how much sunshine there is. Weather Prediction Center, 168 hours out, next 7 days of total QPF or quantitative precipitation forecast. So the total amounts are around 1 inch. This is the half-inch line around the green here. And you can see less precipitation in southern parts of New England, less precipitation just really south and east of our region, but more up to the north and west, 1.5 across Quebec and so on and so forth. A lot of the country is in the process of drying out. A little bit more of an influx of the monsoonal moisture into the western states. And looking at the climate reanalyzer at the University of Maine, we're anomalously warm, but we have cooler air that's perhaps going to get pulled in here pretty quick over the course of the next 48 hours. Looking at the MOS 5-day high temperature mean, weighted about neutral. Colder to the north by 3 degrees, warmer to the south by 3 degrees, and this is over the next 5 days of high temperatures only. That'll be followed 3 days later. Pretty similar conditions. Looking at the tropics, we have 2 systems to watch, 2 easterly waves that have come off the West African coast. They're working into the subtropics, and about a 0% chance of formation here. Over the next couple of days, 0% chance. However, if you look at the 5-day total graphic here, we are looking at potential about a 20% chance of a cyclone formation, and two waves to watch. And it does look like this particular wave will probably go a little bit north of the Lesser Antilles and potentially end up in the Bahamas. This will be about 10 days out, so it's well beyond the period. And this is about 10 days from now. This is the European Tropical Cyclone Ensemble model from Weather Nerds, and about 240 hours out. There's something potentially could be in the Bahamas. Worst case scenario, it hugs the coastline, and something we'll have to watch a long ways around the corner. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.